Long ago, in a small Igbo village surrounded by thick forests and winding streams, there lived a young girl named Nnenna. She was barely 14, but life had already pressed heavy burdens on her shoulders. Her father had died of a strange fever, and her mother struggled to feed the family. Every morning, Nnenna would rise before the first cockcrow, balance a wooden tray on her head filled with roasted groundnuts and fried plantain, and set out to hawk in neighboring villages. Her mother always warned her, "Nnenna, when the sun begins to set, never take the Ogwugwu forest path. That road is cursed. Many who walk it after dusk never return." But on this particular day, greed and desperation crept into Nnenna's heart. Business had been poor in the market. She had only sold half her tray, and the thought of returning home with unsold food filled her with shame. As she stood at the market square, a tall, strange-looking man approached her. His skin was pale, his eyes bloodshot, and his voice deep like the rumble of thunder. "Pretty girl," he said with a smile that showed long yellow teeth. "If you take the Ogwugwu path, you will find travelers returning from the river. They are always hungry. You will sell everything." Nnenna remembered her mother's warnings, but the thought of more coins in her wrapper overcame her fear. She nodded, thanked the man, and began walking toward the cursed path. The forest swallowed her whole. The air was damp and heavy, filled with the cries of unseen birds. As she walked deeper, the sound of her footsteps echoed unnaturally loud. The trees stood tall like giants, their twisted branches forming shapes that looked almost human. At first, everything seemed normal. Then she began to hear whispers. "Nnenna, Nnenna." She stopped and looked around, but no one was there. Her heart thumped like a drum. She tried to walk faster, but the whispers grew louder, now accompanied by laughter, dry, hollow, and echoing through the forest. Suddenly, from the corner of her eye, she saw movement. A shadowy figure darted between the trees, then another, and another. They were watching her. "Nnenna, come and sell to us," one of them hissed. Fear gripped Nnenna, but she forced a shaky smile and called out, "Groundnut! Plantain! Buy your food, oh!" From the darkness, figures began to emerge. At first, they looked like people, men, women, even children. But as they drew closer, Nnenna saw their skin was gray, their eyes empty, and their mouths stretched wide with sharp, broken teeth. The forest spirits had come. One snatched a plantain from her tray, biting into it with a crunch of bone instead of flesh. Another grabbed a handful of groundnuts and stuffed them into a mouth that never seemed full. Nnenna tried to run, but the path twisted and shifted, leading her deeper into the forest. She screamed, but her voice was swallowed by the trees. Then, the strange pale man she had met at the market appeared before her. Only now his form had changed. His legs were that of a goat, his arms long and bony, and his eyes glowed red like burning coal. "Did I not tell you, little hawker?" he mocked. "This is where your greed leads you. You chose the cursed path. Now you belong to us." The spirits surrounded her, chanting and laughing. Her tray fell, food scattering into the dirt. In desperation, Nnenna cried out her mother's name. Instantly, the forest grew still. The spirits hissed and recoiled as if the word burned them. But the pale man snarled, "You may call her, but she cannot save you now. You crossed into our world by choice." The ground beneath her feet opened like a mouth, and shadowy hands reached up, pulling her down. Nnenna screamed and struggled, but the earth swallowed her whole. Back in the village, her mother waited long into the night. When Nnenna did not return, the villagers formed a search party. They searched every path, but no one dared to enter the Ogwugwu forest after dark. Days later, hunters passing through the forest found Nnenna's tray, empty, broken, and covered in strange claw marks. But Nnenna herself was never seen again. Moral of the folktale: greed can lead us into dangerous places. Children must obey the warnings of their parents. Not every path that promises gain leads to safety. To this day, the elders of the village tell the story of Nnenna the hawker, warning children never to take the cursed path, no matter how tempting it may seem.